Yeah, for some reason my OBS has dropped off and stopped streaming. So it's live. It is live again now. I can see it's live again now, but I don't know how much we got of the first part of the stream. So I'm just going to quickly recap. So for everyone that is maybe joining this part of the AMA, yeah, I think my bandwidth is struggling massively. That may be what the issue is. But so yes, you need to claim your apartments by the 12th of May. You need to open a ticket. It needs to include your wallet address or wallet addresses. You need to be a verified holder. You need to verify your wallet through Collabland on our Discord. There is no other way to get your apartment. Sending me an email or a DM without doing that, you don't qualify. Okay, so following those rules is essential. You will also need a multiverseonline.io account to be able to claim those apartments. We came on here this week to talk about the importance of pushing our own social. So you're going to see the social ramping up massively over the next 2 weeks, to the point where on the 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th of May, hundreds of thousands of people are going to see this project in that period. And I mean possibly several 100,000 people. That's the opportunity that we're pushing for. And obviously you guys will be getting your Jungle Cat allocation of apartments within the Infiniverse. The tweet that I've just pinned to the Joke Community Twitter page, if you can please go to that profile and retweet it, comment on it, like it, share it, do whatever you can to get that tweet going, because we need to shill the project now over the next 3 weeks. You've got 10 days left to open a ticket and claim your apartment. So as this grows and as the farming and staking comes in, if you've got token, please get it farmed on NightSwap now, because as NightSwap renews our farms and that coincides with the drop of the apartments, it is so important that we push the social, the token price up to that point. There is a very, very good reason that our farms and pools and the raid comes in at that point, because like I say, hundreds of thousands of people are going to see us and what we're doing, and as they come into the project and want to learn about it, more and more people are going to start farming, staking, buying the token. That's going to push the price. I don't know where it's going to go. It could go a very long way. We're still on with the application for KuCoin. I was talking to them this morning. The issue with them is I'm still waiting for an opinion from a top 20 law firm, which I will get, but because these law firms don't understand necessarily exactly how tokenomics work, and the ones that we know in the UK weren't the ideal choice to start with, we're having to use someone in the US now. So as soon as we've got that legal opinion, we can push on with the KuCoin application. But again, we don't want all of this hitting in at once. It will come week on week on week after we've done this drop of the apartments on the 19th. So anything else you want to add in, Andy?
No, I think just to reiterate, we will plan this week for the next couple of weeks over when various people are away, like yourself. We might have to jig the AMAs around for those of us who missed. For those of you that missed Simon saying that, we have got 8 shows this month, just for the first couple of weeks. So we'll start. Some of that's already been publicised, but we will crack on and pick that back up tomorrow to publicise those shows. There's quite a few other bits in the pipeline as well. So I anticipate, probably another 17, 18 shows this month by the time the end of the month comes. There's just, as usual, there's always a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes in lots of parts of the project. I don't think there's anything else, Simon. You've covered really most of it. It's just been an odd one because of the weekend. There's not been that many updates. It's been sort of low news, so to speak.
Yeah, well,
So no, I think
the guys at the Wolf Den they've got their event this week / weekend, haven't they? DGen,
yeah,
their DGen event.
DJ,
But
yeah.
that's like obviously they work with us. They're working with us on this project and the Meta Landlords project. I did record the Meta Landlords AMA the other day. I'm going to have to make that available on the Joke YouTube channel. The issue is apparently when you start a new YouTube channel, because I've not started one for a long time, it needs to be verified if you want to upload a video that's more than 15 minutes long. And obviously that AMA was 44 minutes, so I uploaded it and then it held it and it won't publish it. So I can publish it to our channel if anyone's interested in listening into that one. The socials for that project are currently being set up. The tokenomics is being decided by Nick at the Wolf Den. So as soon as we've got him back in the in the space where he needs to be, because he's offline at the moment. He's having a week with his degen-entrepreneurs over at the Wolf Den. They've got one of the issues is we've had some of our AMAs clashing with some of theirs, which isn't the best. So next week when we schedule some of these probably for later in the day, i.e. when I'm away on holiday next week, it's going to be a lot easier for me to probably work on US time if we need to have some AMAs next week. But, you know, Andy obviously is quite capable of running these himself. He'll probably run it a lot shorter form than I will, because I tend to get wittering on once I get going. But, yeah, look, social, please help us push. That's a massive help, and obviously Jane is here now to help us organise. She's got some cracking experience on that side. Jane, I don't know whether you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself. I don't know how much you want to share, or you may just say no.
Not a lot to share. I mean, I've got about 20 years of IT background. As you said, I was in the military, used to be a business owner, live in Virginia. I did want to talk about the tickets, just kind of some of the things that I want people to keep in mind, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
For the apartments. So for those of you who have submitted tickets, everybody should have received some form of communication back, on your ticket. I'm going through and verifying the details of the actual wallets. So, as I verify that everything, is matching up with what we see on the blockchain, and you've been verified that you've met, all of the criteria, then I'm communicating back. I haven't made it very far through all of the tickets yet, but maybe about a third of the way through. So once you receive that confirmation, you do need to keep the ticket open. Please do not close the ticket, because we will be communicating to you via that ticket when we send out the codes. So please check your ticket that you've submitted down in the bottom left of your menu. It will be under one of 3 different categories. It will be either under an apartment ticks ready. There's like 3, number 1, 2, and 3 of those, because we can only have 50 in each category. It's just a limitation on the server. If it says waiting for user, that means we're waiting for something back from you in order to finish confirming. And then if it's under just tickets, that means that you've just submitted it and there's no content in it yet for us to take a look at. So if you don't see a ticket that you've submitted, check under the closed tickets. If you still have an issue, either submit a new ticket or you feel free to ping me directly in direct message. But spread the word to your friends that may not have submitted their tickets yet, because we still have a lot that have not been claimed.
Yeah, and just let's add to that, you will not get a DM from us first, okay? Because there are so many scammers out there pretending to be admins, mods, not just this project. So be safe. And if you see a link that is not an official link, nobody should be clicking any links to go off of this server. Like I'm a member of several other projects, like Clay Nation, for example. Clay Nation, which was Snoop Dogg's NFT drop, not so long back, they launched their metaverse and they gave away the land for it. I had a DM on Discord today saying that there's another drop coming of another 1,000, and do you want to get in on it? And it all looks official, but when you look at the link, it is not the official link. You know, it's like you can get one of the exclusive 1,000 new, land parcels that's coming. It looks, you go and connect your wallet to something like that, and you lose everything in your wallet. Okay. I would say to everybody, please do get a hardware wallet, because if you haven't got one and you connect your wallet to something incorrectly, it will take everything out. They will empty your wallet in 5 seconds. Whereas if you've got a Trezor, my favorite is a Trezor. Even if somebody hacked my wallet, they still can't make any transactions on it because they haven't got my Trezor. So I'm more protected. We should do some training on security as well. I know the Wolf Den have some amazing training in there, and they've got a system that they've set up. Jane, we have got the rights to share any of that, so I'll point you in the direction of where they've got a load of stuff on Medium. There's tons and tons of articles, and we are allowed to plagiarise to our heart's content anything that's in there. So we'll pull some of the useful stuff out for people, to educate people, and so that you're safe. I have opened a new, at the request of, I can't remember who made the request, but I've opened a new channel in Discord called The Litter Box. And as we're all cats, the litter box is where all the shit coining is going to happen. So if you have any interest whatsoever in learning about other projects that could potentially be moonshots, or we think are interesting, because we are involved in a lot of other projects. We're involved in a lot of groups that give advice and tips on which projects to follow and invest in. That Litterbox thread, if anyone's got any idea, if you've got a project that you think somebody's recommended, why should I go and invest in XYZ token, stick it in the Litterbox, and some of us on the team will go and do some research and we'll tell you our opinion on what we think on those projects. But it's just a little space for, we know obviously there's people that enjoy going and finding projects that are going to do well. The idea being, if you can find or we as a group can find projects that are going to do really well over a short period, we could say, for example, we think this is going to blow, get some of this project, and we'll then say, right, we now think this is a good time to sell. Obviously, everybody presses buttons on their own time and on their own responsibility, but if you can go and raid other projects and bring money back into this project and the ecosystem and farm it, you're effectively increasing your base assets reasonably easily. And we know somebody called Mario, who he's in a group called Moonshot 21. He's famous for having taken $80 to $17 million in 6 months. Mario runs some training that I follow. There's a guy called PD Shagur. He's part of the Wolf Den, and he actually also does a load of this as well, alongside a lot of the guys in the Wolf Den. It's worth joining. Join the Wolf Den if you want to get educated about how crypto works and how you can protect your assets. It's free. You can work your way up the tiers. I'm at the top tier of that. But the proximity to the right type of people in the crypto space is available there. And if you're invested in this project, there are other projects that are within that ecosystem that are also good projects. So look, we'll have those discussions within that Litterbox channel. So it'll take probably a while to get going, but I continually get people asking me about projects and about where they should, what they should be looking at, because we're in obviously a horrendous bear cycle at the moment. That next point at which Bitcoin runs and breaks its support, it'll go through a point soon, and I'm thinking, and this is a personal opinion, completely a guess, but sometime late June, July, maybe August, it's going to run, and it's normally that part of the year that it does. That's when all the altcoins, if you look at Phantom at the moment, and you look at most of these projects being held back, our project as well being held back to a certain extent because we're paired with BNB, and that isn't doing great at the moment. So that next bull run is going to be massively important, and if we're positioned correctly at the point at which that happens, that makes all of ours investments much more substantial through that 2, 3, 4 month period, however long that lasts. So we want to help educate some of the people in this community as to how to invest properly in DeFi, and and which tokens to look at and why. And I think it's really important that everybody understands that, because it's not just this isn't a pump and dump. We're here for the long term. Hence why we are announcing today that we are renewing those farms and raids on NightSwap. That's not general knowledge as yet. It will be announced on Night in or around the 15th, 16th of May, to coincide with the drop of the apartments and the massive news that Future Tech and the whole of everyone within the Infiniverse will see what's about to happen. That's the point. And when they get roughly 100,000 visitors a day, most of them will be coming to see what we're doing in those 4 days. Subsequent to that, it's our job to put on some massive events, get our marketplace going. We've got some news to come around the marketplace and what's happening with Nifty. So Nifty have been working with us. I don't see Jack on here. Do you, Andy? No. But have you heard back from him this week yet?
No.
No. Okay. So the big name comedians that we're booking, we've had 8 or 9 of them this week, and these are people that have got Netflix specials, people that have been on the Edinburgh Fringe, been in the Comedy Store, performed at Gotham, loads of big clubs, right? People who want to sign up and are actively signing up. We've got a meeting scheduled with Gotham, and there's going to be an opportunity. If you know anybody who runs a comedy club, and I've seen Dave Arenas just popped on, if you want to come on the stage, Dave. But if you know anybody that runs a comedy club, there's going to be an opportunity for us to facilitate opening their own clubs in our metaverse. So in our own metaverse, a comedy metaverse, and I'm probably hinting at more than I should be at the moment, but you guys, if you pay attention to what we say during these AMAs, and it's normally towards the end of the AMAs we mention these things so that people who actually listen through and learn will get the best information. Look, Dave, do you want to talk to the fact that how important it is for these comedy clubs to get additional revenue streams?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah. It's something that's big for really all of these clubs, but especially in like cities like New York, where there's just a lot of capacity in these clubs. Real estate space in New York is at a premium, so some of these clubs are far less capacity than even some of the clubs that you see on the road in other cities, because first of all, there's a lot of them in New York City in a compacted area, and some of them only hold, maybe a couple hundred people at the most. So, yeah, I mean, if they could expand that revenue, it's so attractive to them because they're already doing the show anyhow, right? So they already have their hard expenses, wait staff and what have you, paying the comedian, so and also obviously the comedians as well if they could share in that revenue too. So yeah, it's really, I assume it'll be very attractive for a lot of them, and I think Simon, because you've talked to them, several of them already, that it would just be so attractive to expand that revenue because they're already doing the shows anyhow, and obviously following and getting audience. Even for branding purposes, if you want to look at a meta, outlook at it in terms of, a lot of people wouldn't know Gotham Comedy Club, even though it's one of the biggest in the world, but you're broadening your fan base too of people who will know about you. So yeah, I think it's important for those reasons.
Yeah, and fundamentally, the most important thing here is to get payment into the hands of the comedians, because I couldn't frankly believe the fact that people are standing on a stage in front of hundreds of people and getting paid $5 or $10 or $50, right? It's ridiculous. It's not actually making it possible for people to make a proper living out of it, doing it that way. But I suppose it's like most professions, isn't it?
Yeah, and to be fair, it does go both, right? So for example, if you have a club that has like a bunch of shows in the middle of the week and you're a headliner, you're going to get paid like decent headliner month. But if you're not a draw, like if you're not bringing in people into their club based on your name, then sometimes they have to give away those tickets just to fill some of those shows because they make their money off the drinks and food. They're basically a glorified bar, really, at the end of the day. So, it does work both ways where it's like, they can't afford that either. So yeah, I just think in general, just changing the economy of all of that, meaning you bring in more revenue, more exposure for the club. You also potentially bring in more revenue, more exposure, more following for the comedians too. So that's an important point too, right? It's we've always talked about where it's just a win-win-win for everybody involved. Which I think when you start doing that, we become a disruptor, because it is changing the whole economy of it.
Yeah, and it will disrupt the industry. It's just going to take a little bit of time because, as people know, we've got to get to the point where we can charge for shows. There is a revenue model that is almost the opposite of what Netflix do that we're looking at. I can't expand on that just yet, but there is a way that we... I've got to be very careful what I say because I'm sworn to secrecy. But there is a way that we can absolutely open up audience numbers, not necessarily massive revenues, but the way to change the industry is to get as many people watching first and eventually charge them. But it's more a social experience. So comedy's obviously always been, for those of you that go to live stand-up, it's one of the best nights out you can have, as far as I'm concerned, because you go and enjoy it with your friends and discuss normally what was in the show, or a particular point that a comedian made, or some sort of social standpoint that they were talking about, and it creates not only expands your knowledge, but also obviously it's funny. And it's great. It's a great way to spend an evening. But if there's a way that we can, there is a way that we can bring comedy to far more people that have ever experienced live comedy, and that's the difference. That's what Netflix can't do. Like, yes, you can stream into millions of homes, right? But you can't stream it so that people who are friends can attend together and experience it live. Yeah, I could. I'm getting too close to the line where I'm not allowed to go. But if you're, at the moment, if you go round to somebody's house and watch Netflix on their TV, that's fine. Netflix don't really want you doing that because you're not the subscriber. But when we move to what I'm not going to say, I'm not going to tell you how this is going to work, but there is a way to get lots more eyeballs with not a lot of cost to the people who are going to view. And that's the way to go, because it's all well and good saying, yes, a ticket's going to be $20. Well, fine, that might be the case when it's big names, people it's a new piece of material, it's not something that's been out there before, and it's an opening show, etc., right? But the way to get, at the moment you've got comedians, and tell me if I'm wrong, Dave, but you've got comedians that are going to perform in bars to like a bunch of 10-15 people, which were all brought along by the other people that are in the room, and nobody's getting paid. In fact, that it's costing them all money, right? Whereas if those people can have hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of eyeballs, which are paying something each, that's far better than the world we're in now for the comedian, because they get their material in front of more, they build their fan base while they're getting paid, and then they learn their chops, right? And then we will bring more people forward, and support them in doing that. And they don't have to travel to 20 venues a week, going all over the place, costing themselves fortunes, and eventually a whole bunch of them giving up because it's just not working out for them. So that's what we're going to change. That payment gateway is coming in after the 19th of May. I don't think we're going to start charging straight away, because we don't necessarily need to. It'd be nice to, but there will be some shows that we start charging for. But those of you that are Jungle Cat holders have to get in for free, which you will forever. But it's just a case of getting to the point where that payment gateway, and we will be the first people doing that in the Infiniverse. Again, I have that promise from SAN. So they are building in MetaMask compatibility for us and other projects, but we are the test bed, because that MetaMask compatibility has to plug into their MetaCoin system so that you can get into an event for free where other people are paying with MetaCoin or another method, be that an offline one, i.e. like through the Joke Community website with Joke Token, or in-app with MetaCoin, where we obviously as a project take a smaller percentage because Future Tech and Oculus are facilitating the payment. So there's all sorts of stuff going on in the background, loads of technical bits to sort. It's just obviously the first thing to get out of the way is to get that drop done. As Jane said, the most important thing is to get your tickets in, make sure that you've had some communication back. We as a team will make sure, the promise we'll make you is that we'll make sure that all of those tickets have some sort of reply on them by the end of this week. You do then want to make sure your ticket is updated, but don't close it, because if you close it, it's going to disappear into the ether, and we don't really want to have to go searching for it again. You want to be in the, what have we titled it, Jane, that section?
So it'll be moved to the, it's apartment ticks dash number 1, number 2, or number 3 ready. So we've had to number them just because there's a limit of 50 per category there. So, but if it says apartment ticks ready, that means that we've got everything we need from you. Once you've received a communication that says that you've been confirmed for the apartment claim, all the details have been confirmed, then you're just waiting for us to send you the code.
Okay, and people do need to realise those codes will not be available until the probably 16th or 17th of May. So we won't be able to give those codes out until we've got them, and then they will go out reasonably steadily, okay? you won't be able to do anything with the code until the drop happens, and there is no rush, because once you've got your code, you could go and redeem that code in a year's time and it'll still work, okay? And it won't affect, there's no first come first served in terms of, you know, oh, if I get my code in right now because I'm first, do I get a penthouse? No, they are randomly assigned, so everybody's getting, it's like a lottery. So those that get lucky will get lucky. If you've obviously got more, if you hold more jungle cats, you will have more chance of getting a penthouse. But I've said it before, everybody who gets one of these apartments is going to do very, very well out of them anyway. I don't think we've got an awful lot else to deal with. I've got a few personal tickets I've got to deal with. They'll get done this week as well. So anybody who's waiting for a reply from me, please just be patient, because I've got quite a lot on my desk that I've got to do this week. But I'll get those done this week. We'll have another mods and admins meeting ahead of the AMA on Thursday, and then another update this coming Thursday, guys. Anyone else? Have we got any more questions before we round this one off? Because we're coming to the top of the hour. And if you haven't gone...
No, I would just like to reiterate how important it is to get the tickets in, because not everybody, a lot of people cannot see, even a lot of the mods can't see the amount of tickets there are. So don't wait. Seriously, it's a lot to process, and it's going to take a lot of time to process. So if you come in last minute, you know, you could end up on the wrong side of this thing. So please get your tickets in. It's and I just wanted to give a shout out to Jaden too, because I see a lot of the work she's doing. You know, we've had quite a few conversations, and it's super helpful what she's doing in organizing the Discord. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Shout out to Jane. She's doing a great job. She's definitely getting everybody, you know, organised. Please respect that. You know, if everybody is, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of FUD now in the chat, which is great. But the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot of people looking, and there may well be a lot of people joining the community. So if you can just point them in the right direction, educate them. You know, the steps are, we obviously would like them to come and become a token holder. Point them to Rareable for the jungle cats. I saw that you can now see I believe you can see the jungle cats on crypto.com, not as a listed collection, but you can actually see them on there, which was interesting. So that'd be good if we can push forward and try and do that, because personally I've lost my rag with OpenSea. They're a pile of shit. Yeah, they're just, honestly, it's like it's pulling teeth trying to even communicate with their support. It's useless. So yeah, we'd rather be listed. Well, look, Rareable's the place to go if you want to look at your cats. Make sure they're in your wallet. They've not gone anywhere unless you've sold them. I think we've only got about 7 or 8 cats that are below 1 ETH at the moment, which is great. So people are holding, getting ready for the drop of the apartments. I think that's about it for today, Andy. Do you think?
Hey, Simon. Sorry, there was just one more thing, if you don't mind, if I could just make mention of. It's something I wrote to you privately about. So we see, you know, sometimes, I mean, as the project gets more popular and we have people following the project, so we're going to get competitors or maybe future partners getting into the project, commenting about their project, their joke, something. So we actually had somebody come in from, was it KO Comedy, I believe, but he's a member on the board. It's Comedy Hub or something like that. Anyways, just want to make sure we're not completely blasting them, although we don't want them to advertise their events. I think we do need to, I guess, take some special care of that, right? Because we don't know what might happen in the future. And I'd rather not burn bridges with other comedy projects. And I think we just need to, you know, kindly remind them, like, you know, if you know, I don't know, how do you want to handle that, Simon? I guess if say something along the lines like, oh, if you're interested in, I have no idea. Like, we want to kind of present it like, you can't advertise stuff here, but if you're interested in talking to blah, 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 reach out to OG Joke or Andy. I just think something like that should be better, like, than get out of here, don't post your garbage in here.
What we'll do, Mark, we'll write something first thing tomorrow morning on that, and we'll drop it in an admin's chat. We need to have something to
in a true Web3 ethos, we should allow them in.
Right.
I don't want them blatantly shilling their project in our chat, but we could probably create a separate area and say, if you do want to post this sort of thing, there is an area for comedy projects who we work with, but the expectation would be, if they are going to do it they're going to post in ours, we want confirmation from anyone posting that type of thing that they will allow us to do the same in their Discord or on their social, right? So it works both ways, as long as it works both ways, but we're not allowing blatant shilling. So I think the first,
of course,
from our mods and admins perspective, we would probably remove their posts to start with, and then message them and say, we do allow you to post this, but it's on the proviso that we're allowed to share on yours as well. And once we've got confirmation of that, then we can allow you to, to interact with our community.
Yeah, we'll pop some coffee together tomorrow.
It was basically something came on, was like, hey, I didn't see any events posted for this week, so here's ours. And I'm like, well, that's not really nice.
Well, I think
it is, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I see their angle, but there could be something to that that's advantageous down the road, right? So I didn't want to completely blow them off.
We would love to talk to any other project that's out there, and in a true
I actually think it's cool that they were in there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and in a Web3 ethos, there are no competitors because everybody's supposed to be working together for the benefit of everybody. But it's if they're not going to allow us to talk to their community, I would say let's when people do that, let's say, would you like to open up a discussion, and we'll quite happily work with you and talk to your community as well as you talk to ours. But it's also depends on how big or not their project is, or if it's just somebody trying it on, or if they're not going to talk to us, then no. But don't burn any bridges.
I'll wait to hear on what Andy officially has to say or write up, or how we should move forward. Just so we're all kind of going at it in the same fashion. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. Cool, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Simon.
All right.
That's all.
Anything else before we wrap this one up? I don't think anybody's got a hand up, and there's no questions in the chat. So we'll wrap this one up for today. Please go and show that tweet some love. There will be more posting on a daily basis of tweets and social that we would like people to engage with. It really is so easy to just give it, just to help the project, rather than sitting on the sidelines. Whenever you see one of our tweets or pieces of social content, or even these recordings of the AMAs, just hit that like, or just watch it. Like what I'm going to ask you all to do, please, as soon as we close off this session, go to Twitter and watch that video. So the video that I've posted on that tweet is really important, because it's San Shepherd telling you what you're going to get as an apartment, right? Not me telling you, the man himself. And this is the guy that we have meetings with regularly. So I'd like you to get to know him and to understand what you're getting. So please, as we finish up now, and I'm going to close this stage off, please go to Twitter and watch that video. It's only 1 minute 20 long, something like that. And if you like it, hit the like, and also please, if you can, retweet it. That'd be great. Or retweet and comment something like, I'm part of the Joke Project, would you like to be too? And then put it in so that people can follow it and come back and find the link. They can find our Discord link, and they can also find the link to the website. So that's what, as a community, I really, really please, I'm not going to beg, but please, it's going to make so much difference to all of us in the future if we can consistently do it, okay? So head over to Twitter now, go to the Joke Community profile, watch that video of me. For some of you may well not have seen my ugly mug before, but you'll see me talking to Sand Shepherd, and go and show that tweet some love, please. So see you all soon.
Yep. Thanks to everybody, and thanks Jane as well. Cheers, guys, and thanks Mark and team.